After 12 days of PATTAKAMMA Sutta's discussions, today we have come to the final review of the Sutta. So I would like to hear your questions probably at the end. And as I shared with you a blog post where I put together all the notes, mostly these notes are questions that you have to revisit probably. There were some notes as well at the beginning. So along the line of these notes, and then from the what you call significant aspects of the sutta, we can do the review. First of all, let me ask you a very simple question. Now, I think I already asked this question many times in our discussions before. What is the most important observation that we can see in this PATTAKAMMA Sutta in regard to or compared to other suttas? It is not given in the notes. We had to give some thoughts. There is a misconception that the Buddha only talks about how to overcome dukkha, isn't it? It is not a misconception to many people. Yes, that is the Buddha's main teaching, as you can see given in the Noble Eightfold Path, which we've been studying under the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. But if we read as many suttas as we can observe that Buddha is also talking about how to manage, how to deal with the lay life. So that we have to understand that the teachings of the Buddha primarily go on the monastic side for the monks, but there are quite a number of suttas, a significant amount of suttas, teachings. Suttas were made by the monks, I mean the contents-wise teachings. There are significant amount of suttas and other teachings about lay life. So this is one of the very wonderful additions about the lay life and how to manage lay life with regard to the wealth management, finances. That's a very interesting remark here. So if you can remember what we've been studying so far, Buddha has clearly pointed out the wishes of a lay life and then how to achieve those wishes as a lay person, and then how to set aside, allocate wealth or money towards worthy deeds. I would say in lay life, how to manage your finances under 4 priorities. So I think that is the main observation that you have to think about. Because most of the people, they say that Buddhism is only about ending dukkha. Right? Dukkha arises when we have a lot of cravings. If we manage our life very well, craving will be minimum, no to minimum. So then, no residual dukkha will be arising. So if we're going to say that dukkha is everywhere, that could be a wrong observation. Dukkha is arising whenever we bring craving, tanha, towards those particular objects. So then this sutta is a very interesting place to understand how the Buddha explains a successful lay life in terms of wealth management. He did not pick up the word called money. He picked up the word called wealth, which has a broader definition. When you say money, it's just money. Actually, at that time, there was no currency like how we understand. I mean, there were no coins. Right? They had only materials, isn't it? Now, this is what people understand. Jata, Rupa, Rajata, Patiggahana Viramani. See that the Buddha asked monks to avoid accepting Jata, gold, Rupa, Rajata, diamond and silver. It is because at that time there were possible attacks from the looters, thieves on the street. So monks, they did not have bags to carry these things, and they were the subject of attacks. Otherwise, Buddha didn't have a thought that money is evil. I think this is a very good place to start off this thing. Money is not evil. It is the way how someone handles money that can be evil. Because at the Buddha's time, there was no internet, there was no power, there was no upkeeping expenses as we notice today, right? There was nothing. So temple, the Buddhist Vihara was not under a cut-to-bone budget. Why? I think any financial attachments at that time. But nowadays, conditions have been changed, right? These conditions have to be understood. So Buddhism has to be practiced by looking at the conditions. Not you go back to the Indian society and pick up everything in the same way and go into practice, other than the essence of Buddhism. So this is a wonderful place to understand one aspect, I think the major aspect of anybody's life as a layperson in particular. All right, let's go to the blog post which I made today about the review. I think you can see from your gadgets too. So today is 44 of our discussion. PATTAKAMMA Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya, 4.61. And then, okay, there are 12 days. So as you can see, day 32, there was an overview of the PATTAKAMMA Sutta. And then we were discussing about the first wish out of the 4 wishes. So in this sutta, the Buddha is particularly talking about 4 wishes at the beginning. Right? Every lay person has or should have these 4 wishes. And in order to succeed these 4 wishes, one has to accomplish in 4 Dhamma qualities. First accomplishment, second, third, and fourth. Then only he goes to discuss about the PATTAKAMMAs. First PATTAKAMMA, second PATTAKAMMA, third PATTAKAMMA, and fourth PATTAKAMMA. That is how the Buddha explains the sutta. So Buddha wanted to go to these PATTAKAMMAs, second, third, fourth, but he did not jump onto the PATTAKAMMAs in the first place. He was trying to understand lay life. That is why he taught others that lay people, they are supposed to have these wishes. Normally they have these 4 wishes. So through the 4 wishes, through the successful execution of these 4 wishes, with the support of these 4 accomplishments, then only a layperson is going to think about PATTAKAMMAs, how to manage one's own wealth in terms of 4 areas. I introduced these 4 as priorities. First priority, second priority, third priority, fourth priority. All right, let's go back. Let's start from the sutta's beginning. Okay. Now, at first, Buddha is talking about 4 wishes. What are the 4 wishes which the Buddha identified in a lay life? Let's talk about the first wish in your lay life. What is the first wish in your lay life? First wish in your lay life is, may wealth come to me righteously. I'm not going to pick up a lot of Pali words today because of saving time. I might sometime, but I just wanted to share with you in English for the most part. Wealth, may wealth come to me righteously. This is such an honest wish if you have really grown up in your life. Okay? So now the question is gaining money always ethical or wealth always ethical? Do many people gain money in ethical ways? This could be a challenging thing. Now, when you say ethical ways, ethical means that one has to gain the wealth without cheating on other people, without stealing other people's stuff, right? Without false marketing, without swindling. So without all these unethical ways. So that kind of wealth earning is challenging to many people unless you have acquired your skills. That's why the Buddha says many people will like it, but still hard to gain as such. But the Buddha says every layperson should determine that I should never ever take a single penny in whatever the currency in unethical ways. Even this is applying to dana, right? I think you may have heard about how to give a dana in the proper way. Dakina Vibhanga Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. In this Dakina Vibhanga Sutta, Buddha says, purity of the money or wealth that was spent on making dana matters to the purification of the dana, success of the dana. Let's say someone steals money, someone evades tax, someone does money laundering, and then going to do a dana outside. It's a very big dana for other people, even for a temple. A lot of chunk of money coming to the temple. But dana is not just an outside external activity in Buddhism. It is not that I pick up something and I give to someone. The precious part of the dana involves a mental process. So in that mental process, Buddha says that the purity of the what you call money spent on the dana, wealth spent on the dana matters in succeeding that particular dana activity. So that means even you can't give a dana with wrong money, with unethical money. You can give, but it is not working in making good karma in the proper way. So that's very important. That's why being able to earn money, earn wealth in ethical ways matters, and it's such a very important wish, such an interesting wish that everyone may make, most of them, but the success of that making is dependent upon different individuals, right? People might talk different things. Someone might say, I work for the tobacco company, but it's okay because every cigarette packet has a saying that, smoking creates a lot of harmful effects in people's life. So there is a disclaimer. So everybody who is going to buy the cigarette packet, they know that there's a disclaimer. Someone might think that way. But we are trying to understand, if you have no choice, if you can't do a career change, trying to stay away from the unwholesome career activities. Try your best. But if you cannot, then there is no choice to do. Right? So this is the first wish. May wealth come to me righteously, in ethical ways. So money, wealth doesn't come to me easily. So in my effort to make money, I have to understand that I have to get ready, and then I have to make myself within the ethical parameters in gaining the wealth. The second wish is, may good reputation come to me and to my loved ones. It's also very interesting. Okay. How important is the reputation, good reputation? As Buddhists, are we supposed to expect good reputation? What do you think about it? Now, when you work with other people, there are people sometimes they may say to you, hey, don't expect any thanking thing. Now, we are not going to thank you. This is a Dhamma-related thing. Don't expect anything in return. But when we appreciate people, people will become motivated. Right? Even people expect or not, it is our responsibility to be appreciative and to be thankful. Why? It is a Brahma Vihara. What Brahma Vihara is that? What Brahma Vihara is that? To appreciate other people for the good things. What is that Brahma Vihara called? To appreciate for other people's good things, their wholesome character, and the things you have been benefited. What is it called? It is called mudita. Mudita, appreciative joy. So just keeping to yourself is not enough. Huh? So you have to appreciate people in the right way. You should not be stingy in appreciating. So good reputation is a wish. And there's no harm in having good reputation. So if people appreciate each other in the right way, that's a good thing. Not even to oneself, but also to one's loved ones. Okay. So now, even if you see some of the Dhammapada stanzas, Buddha talks about how to become someone how to become someone who can be really validated by other people. Good reputation is necessary, and it is a wish. And the third wish is, may I live long. Isn't it? Is living longer very important? Oh, if we can go by a teaching like, Buddha told us, life is full of sufferings, we're getting old, we're getting a lot of ache, like pain, better to end this life early. And in the Western world, they have very sophisticated words, honor killing, euthanasia, the bombastic words. You can sign. And so, why is it important? Is it important to live longer? Why? What do you think about it? Oh, we just accept anicca and then we will die earlier. What is the Buddhist thought, the Buddha's real idea of this living? It is very important and it is very helpful if we can live longer. Why? Then we can practice more Dhamma. Right? Now you are learning a lot, but do you have enough time to practice? That's the question, right? It is not coming to a vihara and then write down notes and go back and then get back to the same life. Are you allocating enough time for this practice? The teachings, application of these teachings in your normal life? I don't think you are making enough time. You need a lot of time for practice. One Dhamma talk, at least 5 hours of practice, thinking about it, how to do it. Because there are a lot to do rather than talking. Creating our attitude, being mindful about how we talk, what we talk, being mindful about what thoughts are coming to oneself, myself, lot to do. So we need time. So then if we can live longer, it is a benefit for us to practice Dhamma. Otherwise, if you die earlier, you may not have enough time. So, may I live longer is a very good wish, but don't think that you can practice Dhamma in 5 years, 10 years. There are people who postpone, right? Sometimes people postpone their wishes, right? Like how they postpone emotions. Sometimes postponing emotions is good. Let's say you get a very bad email now, very bad email, somebody's criticizing you. And if you are to respond to that email now, I think you could have email in a little bit, harsh way, because you have a lot of emotions attached to that particular baddie. But what if that, no, I'm not going to email now, respond now. Maybe tomorrow lunch, tomorrow after. Then by tomorrow morning, your emotions, those emotions that were very ignited because of this, what you call, whatever the unpleasant email, will be a little bit lower. Maybe those emotions will be sort of disciplined. So sometimes it's good to postpone our emotions. It's better, it's the management. But we cannot postpone our Dharma practice that way, because we don't know, even though we wish to live longer, we have no idea when we are going to die. So better to live longer, but there is no guarantee. We can live longer, we can practice more Dharma. But dying early is not a good advantage in our practice. Who can say we're going to be reborn in a good place? Nobody can say. It's a matter of question. Then the last wish which the Buddha says to us is, every layperson, if they know about rebirth and all that, they have a wish to be reborn in a better place, happy place. What are the happy places that someone can be reborn? In the Buddhist cosmology, we understand there are 31 places to be reborn. So in whatever the way we will be dying one day, we are supposed to be reborn in one of those 31 places. We normally understand, leaving out the 4 apayas, there is the human world, and then the 6 heavens, and 16 material Brahma worlds, and 4 immaterial Brahma worlds. That means there are 27 good places to be reborn. So nobody would like to be reborn in a hell. Nobody would like to be reborn as an animal. Right? Nobody would like to be reborn as an asura. And nobody would like to be reborn as a hungry ghost. But just because we want to be reborn as a deva, as a manusa, human, as a Brahma, is it going to happen? That's the question. So that's why we have no control over the next life. Better to do good karmas here as much as you can, without expectations. So everything else will be assured. Right? Otherwise, we cannot say that just because you do dana, you will be reborn in a better place. That can be a spiritual crime. People say, because nobody knows, and we are getting the benefit of the doubt. What has happened to some other devotees, Kosala Mallika, and Mallika gave the best dana to the Shakyamuni Buddha, and then she was reborn in a hell, at least for a week. And King Dharmashoka, who made 84,000 temples, and then he sent missionaries to 9 countries, including his son and daughter, Arahan Mahinda, and then Theri Sangamita. And he supported the 3rd convocation, Sangha, and what happened to him at the end? He said that he became a python in the Himalayas, even for a short time. It doesn't mean that we cannot have a certain assurance about our next life, but it is such a very dubious, uncertain thing. The best thing is to spend every moment in this life with some happiness, some mindfulness, some awareness, and all that, and with the Brahma Vihara. So everything else will be okay. So, anyways, every layperson is supposed to have a wish that, may I be reborn in a good place. Now, how to achieve these 4? That's a question, right? May wealth come to me righteously. May good reputation come to me and to my loved ones. May I live longer, and may I be reborn in a better place. So how to achieve these four? Then the Buddha said, yes, you can achieve these four wishes by practicing another four Dhamma activities. What are they? I think we'll have to see them again. First accomplishment, second accomplishment, third accomplishment, and fourth accomplishment. So there are four accomplishments that one has to practice in order to achieve these four. What is the first thing to do in order to succeed these four wishes? Number one, it is called Saddha. And accomplishment, the Pali word for accomplishment is Sampada. Saddha, Sampada. That means you need to increase your Saddha. What is Saddha here? Saddha has a lot of meanings. The major meaning, the primary meaning of Saddha is trusting about the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Trusting the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha without hesitance, right? Without doubt. Normally, trust about the Buddha is very much okay with many of you, right? There is no problem with trusting the Buddha. You can't communicate with the Buddha anymore. You only follow what he said, and you have always good impression about him. What about the Dhamma? It is the same. You have an enormous respect for the Dhamma. That is also mostly assured, guaranteed. What about the Sangha members? Is your trust about the Sangha members always unshaken or shaken sometimes? How is it? Is it shaken or unshaken? Sometimes. For the most part, you should be okay. But you are working with the Sangha members to know the Dhamma, to know the Buddha, isn't it? That is where there is a vulnerability to break this Saddha quality. So when you are working with the Sangha members, you know they are also human beings, and they may have their own ways of practice and their way how they are working. So we don't have to have any bad impression about the original Sangha members. Because when you are offering dana also, you are supposed to think, I am not offering dana to XYZ monk. Right? Lot of people, initially, yes, you are going to the Vihara, or you are going to offer dana to XYZ monk, yes. But deep down in your mind and heart, what you should have in your with regard to monks and nuns, I am offering this dana to the Sangha members which the Buddha taught under Supatipanno state. Monks and nuns who are in the path of becoming a Sotapanna. And then who are already Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, or those, you have to always keep in mind, I am offering this dana and all these donations, everything for those Sangha members. Right? Otherwise, if you keep trusting about one monk, two monks, if something happens to that monk, whole Saddha will go away, fall down. You start blaming everybody, my money, my everything. Right? And sometimes things are unavoidable, right? You can't stop. Some things are happening. Right? There are things that are happening. I remember lately one monk came to your country, South Korean monk. He He did a sort of performance act, isn't it? It was widespread on media, right? A lot of people, they were really upset about it. How come? Is a monk supposed to behave like that? Can we stop all these things? We can't stop all this. Rather, we understand what's going on. Yes, there should be a process. But just because things happen, just because you see them on social media or TV or maybe from other people, don't have to worry about these things. There were more mischievous monks at the Buddha's time, Monk Deva. So these are normal. Think that these are normal things. If these things are happening, try to practice upekka. Upekka, equanimity. Right? Just practice upekka. Okay? Do something you can do. Otherwise, don't take them as so much disturbing things. Right? So I was trying to tell you about saddha, right? As a layperson, you should never destroy your saddha upon whoever the monk, nun, whatever the temple, wherever you go, doesn't matter. Always try to protect your saddha. Remember one layperson during the Buddha's time talked to Bhante Arahan Mahapantaka, the Dana invitation monk. He was the monk who was in charge of the danas, invitations. His name is Mahapantaka. So he met him and he said, I want to offer dana this day. But later on, Arahan Mahapantaka wanted to change the day. I think Buddha has another invitation to go somewhere else. So he met this Dayaka devotee and said, I think I have to change your dana date. Sorry about that. And the question he asked immediately was, okay, I'm okay with the change. I understand plans change. But can you guarantee that I will be having the same saddha that I will be that I was supposed to have on this particular day, on the new date? Can you guarantee my saddha for the new date? Then Arahan Mahapantaka said, no, it's up to you. With the change of plans, some people lose their saddha, right? So Arahan Mahapantaka said, no, I cannot guarantee about your son. Your trust about the Buddha Dhamma son. Whatever the things happen, don't change your saddha. Keep your saddha in the same way as you used to have in your life. That is a wonderful quality of a layperson, devotee, dayaka. Some people, saddha is going here, always changing. So they are in a roller coaster, saddha roller coaster. They cannot actually keep the saddha with them all the time. So, in order for you to achieve the previous 4 wishes, you must have started your practice with saddha. Unwavering, unshaken saddha towards the Buddha, unshaken saddha towards the Dhamma, unshaken saddha towards the Sangha members. Okay? That is the first accomplishment which we've been discussing. Then the second accomplishment to achieve those wishes, what was the second one? Sila Sampada. Sampada means accomplishment. Sila means? What does Sila mean? Discipline. I don't translate Sila to be precepts. It's much bigger than precepts. Okay? Sila means discipline. What kind of discipline is this? Is discipline very important to us? How important is discipline? Now let's say there is a law enforcement member, right? A police officer, maybe a soldier, who is supposed to have the weapon training. So when they are given the training, they are getting more discipline about how to operate the gun. They are not supposed to use it at the wrong time, right? What if someone doesn't have the training with the weapons? What will happen? In the same way, when practicing Dhamma, you must have a discipline to use the Dhamma. Sometimes there are people, they know a lot of Dhamma, but they don't have discipline to use that Dhamma. practice it. So Sila is very important. So Sila has disciplining our thoughts, our speech, and then our actions. Okay. So how to practice Sila? Yes, we have 5 precepts in the first place, and then is practicing 5 precepts enough as a layperson? It is not enough, because the teaching of the 5 precept is very old. It's not the Buddha's innovation. And 10 kusala, teaching of 10 kusala is the Buddha's teaching. That means you have to avoid 3 things from the thoughts, 4 things from the speech, and 3 things again from the actions. Then you are disciplining yourself very well. You have seal, right? I think you know what they are, right? Not being covetous, not having ill will, not having misbelief. These are the 3 things you are going to avoid from the thoughts. Then always trying to avoid lying, then bad mouthing, hurting other people with your speech, and then gossiping, idle chatter. Always avoid these things. Is it easy to avoid gossiping, hurting other people, bad mouthing? It should be easy for someone who knows Dhamma very well. Otherwise, they run into speeches where they bad mouth about other people, where they gossip about other people. But they don't have the training. But if you talk to them, they know a lot of Dhamma. Right? Why is it? Discipline has not gone to their knowledge. Dhamma knowledge is not done with the discipline part. And then not killing other beings, not stealing other people's stuff, and not sexually misbehaving. These 10 are called as Sila Sampada. The more you have this Sila Sampada, the better you can make your wishes come true, your wishes, those previous 4 wishes. Third accomplishment, Sampada, Chaga Sampada. Chaga Sampada means, what does Chaga mean? Chaga means giving without expecting anything in return. Is it very easy to give something without expecting anything in return? I don't talk about your relationships. If you have a relationship, maybe they always brandish give and take, There's no give and take. We cannot maintain this, But when it comes to our Dhamma activities, we cannot practice this give and take perspective. You give something and then you expect something else to take from that thing. Long time ago in Sri Lanka, there was a till box in a temple. When people drop coins into that till box, they say, punya, punya, punya. So people expecting, young guys, teenagers go, they drop coins into that box, till box. Every time they drop a coin, the till box has a sensor to say, merits, 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 merits. So they are very happy to hear this word. They drop coins slowly. 1 coin, 2nd coin, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Happy. This is a way to do it. But we are not expecting someone is telling, you've given a good dana, you are getting a lot of... Either they talk about it or not. This is up to us. Right? Maybe Sangha members give a Dhamma talk after Dhan. It is their responsibility if they want to do it. They do it or not. I know the precious meaning of the Dhan. This is how you have to think about it. Okay? So, Chaga is the proper way to give a Dhan. I think I already mentioned to you. Dana is the simple word, but in Dana activity, you are going to give something. But while you are giving, There's something special that should happen in your mindset. That is chaga. Chaga means abandoning, overcoming as much lower, as much dosa, as much more as you can. Overcome as much dosa as you can. As much dosa as you can. Overcome as much more as you can. That is how you're going to bring your dana into a chaga. Maybe dana activity done with the chaga perspective. This is chaga. So the Buddha asks lay people to give every dana with a chaga perspective. It's very good for all of us. Right? That is chaga sampada. Then I did not go to a lot of details because you already know and you have a note as well. And then the last accomplishment to do in order to come through your wishes is panya sampada. This is interesting. I'm going to actually question about this. Panya sampada. Panya means wisdom. Wisdom. That means as a layperson, you must have cultivated a certain, at least to an extent of your own wisdom. Tell me, is the wisdom that we know in basic Buddhist concepts and the wisdom that is appropriate, relevant to a layperson, same or different? Now, when the Dhamma speakers talk about Dhamma, they talk about we have to be wise, we have to attain Nibbana so that we will get into the highest wisdom. Is that the same wisdom which a lay person is supposed to cultivate? Or it is something little different? The wisdom that a lay person is supposed to practice, cultivate, is different from that highest wisdom. It's a different type of wisdom. I mean, you can see the elements, but it's different. So I would call it mundane wisdom. As a layperson, you are supposed to cultivate your own wisdom, lay people's wisdom. What is the lay people's wisdom? As a layperson, you must have overcome abhijja and visamalobha. I think I can write down again. I already shared with you a long time ago. First one is abhijja and visamalobha. Then there are another four. Second, third, fourth, fifth. What are they? The last nivaranas, the Pancha Nivarana group. We call them Vyapada, ill will, Tinamitta, sloth and tropo, Uddacha, Kukucha, restlessness and regret, remorse, and then Vichikiccha. But these two are slightly different. We discussed about this. Fine. Abhijja means greed. It's about greed. Greed about what you have in your life. Do we have certain greed about what we possess? Money, other things, even our knowledge, even the loved ones who are around us. We have certain greed about these things. It's called abhijja. The only difference is it will be more or less. I mean, depending on one to one. Then visamalobha. Visamalobha means another type of greed. What is it? Visamalobha means greed that some people have over what other people have in their life. Visamalobha. So there are two types of greeds here. Lobha, abhijja. So as a layperson, if you want to be a wise layperson, you must overcome these two at the beginning. Then second, ill will. No thoughts of destroying other people. Physically, definitely, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is. Then the third thing to overcome, if you want to become a wise person, definitely you are supposed to be tina and mitta. You have to always try to cultivate kusala thoughts. Don't become lazy. Because when you become lazy, most of the natural thoughts that come to you can be unwholesome. It's better to stay alert, stay energetic in terms of kusala activities. Then the fourth thing to overcome for a layperson to be wise is uddacha and kukkucha. It's also a hybrid term, two akusala states. Uddacha means restlessness. Kukkucha means regret or remorse. That means if you are not trying to rest yourself, you can easily do akusala karmas. Let's say you are not taking enough sleep, you are not taking enough food, you are not resting yourself. Right? These activities, improper activities, these lifestyle activities can easily bring you to create akusala karmas. So you have to rest yourself accordingly. Kukkucha means remorse, regret about what you have done in the past, especially with regard to your activities. So finally, vichikicha, doubt. You have to reduce your doubts about the Dhamma, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and all the others. Especially there are 8 things. So when you work on these 5, when you try overcoming these 5 as much as you can, then you are going to be a wise person. Otherwise, just because you think you are doing a dana activity, you are not going to be a wise person. Dana is one thing, but you have to overcome these 5 as a set. Thereby, you are becoming a wise person in your lay life. So this is called Panya Sampada. All right. I think now let's take some time to listen to any questions if you have before we go to the Pattakamas. Okay, any questions about the contents about the Pattakama Sutta so far? Now we discussed about the 4 the 4 wishes and then the 4 accomplishments that should be done in order to come through the 4 wishes. We will take any questions about that, and then we will go to the Pattakamas. Any questions? So you can go to the mic and then ask.
Good evening, Bhante. Can you hear? Bhante, can you hear? Can?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you. Please.
Can Bhante elaborate a little bit on the Panya, about the Maha Panya, Putu Panya, Apata Daso, Panya Sampano? Just
okay.
the differences.
Good. Let's go to the Sutta. I think that's better. When you overcome the 5 things which I mentioned earlier, Abhijja, Visamalobha, Vyapada, Tinamitta, Uddhaca, Kukkuca, Vichikicha, thereby you are creating your layperson's wisdom, which is given in certain other explanation. There are other names for understanding that layperson's wisdom. You are creating a greater panya. Putu panya means white panya. Apata daso panya sampan. As you can see over here. Apata daso means you see your range of your panya. Now these are actually words that have been given to understand the parameters of your layperson's wisdom. That means within the layperson's life, you are creating a higher panya. This panya is not equal to the panya when you attain nibbana. But as a layperson, your panya will become very wide, and then it will become a great panya. That means compared to others who don't have it. Otherwise, there is no anything in particular compared to the panya you attain as a practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. So those words are explaining the importance of having the layperson's wisdom compared to someone who doesn't have it. At the same time, you can also understand those words as that you are increasing your layperson's wisdom Your wisdom is going to be very wide as you practice overcoming those 5. Because normally people think just by listening to a Dhamma talk, they will become wise, isn't it? But the Panya, wisdom, which is relevant to a layperson, has to go beyond listening to a Dhamma talk, and they must be able to overcome those 5 as much as they can. So they will then find out it is not a normal wisdom within the lay life. It is much, much wider than the normal wisdom I have. Now, say for instance, when you listen to a Dhamma talk, you feel that certain things are going to trigger with your personal life, isn't it? Then you understand as an instant Dhamma hit. This is what I have been going through in my life. This could be a certain wisdom. But when you start overcoming these 5, you can see that general panya in the lay life will become much broader within my practice of overcoming these 5. That is how we have to understand the particular context of the layperson's wisdom. Not that it is higher than the Nibbanic panya. But this is what you are supposed to do as a layperson. Now we are going to discuss about the most important part of the sutta, which we call as Pattakamma. What is the meaning of Pattakamma? Patta means worthy, Kamma means deed. How does Pattakamma work in your life? Only when you manage your finances, your wealth, in the proper way, which the Buddha taught. Now, how many times you've been going to see a financial advisor in a bank? Right? I think you've been going to, probably if you have a lot of wealth, you might have gone to see an advisor to take an advice from the person. But when you look at what we see in this sutta, we can understand in a different context, Buddha had talked about this financial advising as early as that 6 BC time for a Buddhist person, right? Not even for a Buddhist person. So he said, there are 4 Pattakammas, but make sure that these Pattakammas are priority-based activities. Okay? Now someone might ask, how is this going to work within a percentage context? First Pattakamma 25%, second Pattakamma 25%, third Pattakamma 25%, fourth Pattakamma 25% of my income. We cannot say like that. Sometimes there are people who self-care a lot. Maybe spend 50% of the money for them. If there is a very rich person, he or she might not spend the whole money. Maybe 10% of the whole money will be distributed for all these things. So there's no percentage. But what is important is to cover as a layperson with your whatever the money you are having, to have been able to cover all these 4 priorities in your own income. Because some people might have a tight budget, isn't it? They may have a cut-to-bone budget. They cannot think about spending the whole thing. So they have to become, economical in the sense of how much I'm going to spend. So it doesn't matter. What is important is whether everyone as a layperson cover all these 4 Pattakammas in their own way, covering all these aspects. Okay, first Pattakam. What is more important? Now you have wealth, money, everything, even you don't have that much. But as a layperson, what is your first priority in your life with your wealth? Tell me. So you have lots of wealth, you don't think about anybody else, you don't think about you, you bring all the money to a charity. Is it? That's the first Pattakam, isn't it? What should you do as the first priority with your wealth and money? According to what the Buddha says here. You are supposed to take care of yourself in the first Pattaka. Immediate thing when you have your wealth and money, in whatever the quantity of the money, Well, you must spend on self-care. Self-care. What is self-care here? Take care of yourself. Whether you eat properly, whether you take necessary, uh, healthy things, whether you take enough rest, whether you sleep well, right? Whether you admire yourself, isn't it? Sometimes there are people who cannot admire. You know, admiring oneself is very important because you feel good about it. Yeah? Start from going to see yourself from a mirror. Who are you? Do I look good? Actually, do we feel good about ourselves? It's good. It's not bad. You start your life self-care from that place. Not that I have to think always about my parents or whoever, other people. Start from yourself. This is the immediate priority in our life. This is what the Buddha says. Self-care. Then within the first Pattakamma, there are other small people. Who are they? Parents. So this is also under the first Pattaka. First self-care, then parents. At the same time, family. Husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever. It's good, no? Right? There are different people who are having different opportunities to become a good person, right? At least when you are married, you have someone to take care. Right? Spend money on. For a single person, that person may find out different ways people to spend money on. So, parents, then family, and then friends and companions. And if you have maids in your household, yes, they are also included in the first Pattaka. Now, these are the target audience in the first Pattaka. That means, in order for you to practice the Buddha's way of financial wealth management teachings, the first group or first Pattakamma group has to be understood. It starts from yourself. So in the Buddha's teachings, we must take care of us in the first place. That is very important. That is first Pattaka. Then second Pattaka. Now you're making sure that you are okay, your parents are okay, your family people are okay. Okay, you might sometimes not be able to spend a lot of money, but at least you are making them comfortable. Now Buddha uses a very interesting two Pali words here in terms of this activity. Now we know the Pattakamma, first Pattakamma audience. Buddha uses two Pali words which reflect what we do to other people. Sukheti, Pineti. Let's go and see them. Very interesting Pali words. These are the Pali words. Sukheti and Pineti. Samma Sukam Parihara. Sukheti, Pineti. Then Sukheti, Pineti. Sukheti, Pineti. Okay, now we have to understand what is Sukheti, what is Pineti. Right? Because you might have heard many people are saying that, I have been spending a lot of money on my family people, my wife, my husband, but they never appreciate me. I'm so frustrated about my life. What is the problem over here? The person has understood the first Pattaka, but the person has not understood the two Pali words in terms of that activity, that caring other people in his or her family. Sukheti means make them happy. It's sometimes difficult to make other people happy unless we understand it from. Make myself happy, make my other people happy. But then the second thing is Pineti. make them happy and then feel them happy. Just because you make them happy, they might not feel them happy, what you are doing to them. They say, yeah, thank you but I don't feel myself happy about it. Something wrong. That means you need a certain understanding about how these people are getting happy. Whether I can really feel them happy, make them feel happy. Right? So, Sukheti means making happy, and then in turn, the target group should feel themselves happy about your treatment. So that's a challenging activity. But if you are successful, you know how to make other people happy. Not even that, you know how to make them feel happy about what you are doing to them. Very challenging activities. But as a layperson, you are going to be successful. You all need to be successful in our life, especially in your day life. Sukheti and Pineti. Okay. This is the first Pattakama. Just to save the time, I'm going to go to the second one. Now you are making sure you are okay, your mother, father okay, family is okay, friends are okay, servants in the household okay. Okay means you have made them happy and you know that they are feeling happy about what you've done. Then you are moving on to the second priority. Second priority is about, what is the second priority with your wealth management? Now you don't have to read the text because I've been teaching this thing for many weeks. So it has to come to your mind right away. What is the second Pattakama? Crisis management. Crisis management. In our life, as a layperson, you know, when you run a household, then this household can have certain crisis moments. What are the crisis things that can happen to your household? Fire hazard. I think we discussed about fire hazard. Any house can get fire. So do I have a backup plan for the fire hazards? What is going to happen to my house if there is a fire? Have I made an insurance already? Have I been paying for insurance? Something like maybe you are making sure that your house and then probably the places where you put the gas, right? They are making sure they are okay, right? You are making sure that you are working towards a certain plan, right? In case a fire is going to come. Also, water, any crisis that can come from water. This is also interesting. Now, whether you have built your house in a floodplain, whether you have built your house within the tsunami zone, right? Maybe whether you have properly fixed your house plumbing, all these are hazards, water hazards. So you are making sure that I don't have that kind of problem in my house or wherever I go. Then crisis that can come from thieves. Thieves. Right? How to protect myself from the thieves. I think we discussed that extensively. Do I know the present tendencies of the thieves? How do thieves approach other people? There are different types of thieves now, scammers, credit card fraud people, online scammers, right? There are many thieves. Do I understand these people? How to protect myself from these? So I have to probably use my money to protect myself, my family from these people. It is also a part of second Pattakama. Not even that. Have I done a will? Have I made a will about my property, everything when I die? Because if I don't do that, my money, my wealth will go to the people whom I don't like. Right? I think they are very good things. Rather than always thinking, I will die, everything is anicca. Make a will for your whatever the stuff. And you are properly making sure nothing is going to the hands of unnecessary people. So in order for you to do all these rescue plans from the fire, from the water, from thieves, from unnecessary, from your money wealth going to the unnecessary people's hands. Also, for the government, unnecessary, unruling, unfair government treatments, you have to plan yourself, right? So you have to use your wealth to protect yourself from these crisis issues. This is the second pattaka. How important is it? So Buddha has seen every aspect in our life. There are a lot of people who are not thinking these aspects. They say, no, it has not yet come. Don't worry about it, Fire has not come to my house. Thieves have not broken in. I think I'm still living, so I don't have to make a will. The government is still okay, no problem, But when the things are happening, they don't have a way to go out. So we have to have a plan. All these issues, way before these are going to happen. Buddha said, have this plan before anything is going to happen. And the third Pattakamma is about, can you think about the third Pattakamma? It's about doing 5 balis. 5 bali, B-A-L-I. Bali means sacrifices, offerings, 5 balis. As a lay person, now you have to, now please make sure, now when you do the first Pattakamma, self-care, taking care of your mom and dad, family, and then all that, when you are switching over to the second Pattakamma, you cannot stop doing the first Pattakamma activity. You are simultaneously performing them. Okay? You have to keep it going. But at the same time, you are doing the second Pattakamma also. Then the third Pattakamma, when you go to the third Pattakamma, you are simultaneously continuing the second Pattakamma also. When you come to the third Pattakamma, you are thinking about 5 balis. What are the 5 balis? Atiti bali. You are supposed to take care of the guests who are coming to see you, even in a coffee shop, cafe, wherever, your house. You are such a very hospitable person. You know how to treat people. You have a high level of hospitality in a good way, if you can, depending on your budget. Atiti bali. Second is Jnati bali. Jnati bali means, as a Buddhist, you cannot stay away from your relatives. You need to take care of them in the best possible way, whatever the good way for them. The third bali is Raja bali. Raja bali means, if there is a amount that you are supposed to pay for the government, you are supposed to pay. We call Raja bali. Government tax, paying tax. Never evade from the tax. Fourth bali is Ubba Peta bali. Ubba Peta bali means giving good karmas to your ancestors. I think you have a day in your culture, right? What is it called? Cheng Meng, Cheng Meng Day, right? But here it is not only limiting to one day. Every day when you do a good karma, you are thinking, may any of my departed ones in this life or in previous life expecting good karma. Here there are a lot of good karmas for you. Please take this good karma. So this is also a bali, Ubba Peta bali. Last bali is called Devata bali. Devata bali means sharing good karmas with the Deva. That is the Buddhist way. But there are other ways too. If you go to Japan, you know that they are throwing coins to Deva's shrines over there. Some people. And if you go to Bali, Indonesia, you see that they are leaving certain offerings at the, at the entrance of every place. So there are different ways of offering to Deva. Our way, Buddhist way, is that at the end of any good karma, we are thinking about Deva. So these are 5 balis. Atiti Bali, taking care of your guests. Nyati Bali, taking care of relatives. Then Raja Bali, paying tax, fair tax. Then what you call Pubaveta Bali, giving good karma to the departed ones. And Devata Bali, sharing good karma with the dead. This is called third Pattakam. So you are supposed to go to this Pattakamma after the second Pattakam. Now the last Pattakam, because we should save some time for any questions. In the last Pattakama, which we discussed the previous, I would say last Monday, I think it was on July 1st, it was about what you call approaching, going to see the monks, nuns, contemplatives who have certain abilities, who are patient, who are free from conceit, and who have all the good things, and then asking them what is good, what is bad, what is kusala, what is akusala, inquiring them, and then offering dana towards them. This is the fourth Pattakam. In general, this is your dana activity, right? And that kind of dana is labeled as dakina. Dakina, right? Dakina means the Pali word we use for the dana activity. So you have to practice all these 4 Pattakamas as a lay person. Thereby, when you pass away one day, according to Buddhism, your life was a blameless life. Any person who knows Dhamma can easily tell that your money, wealth is Pattakam. You have properly spent that money on the right things. Because Pattakama you done, second done, third was done, fourth was done by you. So your wealth management is very successful for this life and for the next life. So this is what we discussed. I think I want to probably taking 1 more minute, go over the last couple of stanzas here. They are the same ideas. I'm not going to go over to them a lot. You see these stanzas, Buddha, Boga, Bata, Bacha, within. This is a sort of what I call summary about the 4 Pattakamas. You see, I have taken care of all these 4 Pattakamas. I also done the Bali, right? And then, so as a wise person, I have no regrets. See, I have no regrets, Anupatto. Therefore, my life is such a praiseful life, even in this life and the next life. So these are just stanzas where someone who has followed the 4 Kammas enjoys just before he or she passes away. Kind of self-compliments about one's own wealth management. All right, any questions about this part? Maybe the whole Sutta discussion today, because we are going to start a new Sutta discussion from the next time. Any questions about Pattakamas in general?
In second and third Pattakama, the king came out 2 times. So what are the difference on the second and the third? The king.
Okay. About the king. Okay, let's go to the text. Second Pattakama, we can see Rajatova. So what are the losses that can come from the king? This basically means government actually at that time, because there was no government without the king at that time. Right? We call it a republican system, according to their way, but more autocratic. So this means that sometimes the king can become a little bit unfair to people, because he can decide everything. So as a Buddhist, if you were living at that time, you have to sort of think about how to prevent from these possible unfair treatments that the king can arrive at different times based on the money, wealth, probably other activities. So you are trying to make sure that you are free from any impending attacks, impending unnecessary treatments, unfair treatment from the government. Now, say for instance, now in today's world, how to take it in today's world? Let's say we know inflation has hit every country, recession is happening, right? Now you know what can happen. Prices can go higher. There are certain areas that we may need to think of before the government is going to implement certain taxing. Maybe you have certain areas that was not given more attention by the government. Sometimes you can think about. So you are doing, maybe they are going to increase premium. Maybe they are going to tax for the new activities. If you don't start it now, if you start later, I think government will levy a new tax on that service. But you are very wise, and you are going to start it way before they are going to touch on that subject. This is a very simple example. So that kind of thing is not a very comfortable, pleasant experience for many citizens of the country. Oh, see, they have increased the prices, they have levied a tax on this service, right? So I think understanding possible, you could say unfair, sometimes they could be fair, but it is not fair for your budget. So you are wise to think about potential financial, activities that can come to you, whereby you will have to suffer a little bit, go through a pain financially. So you are going to make sure that you are not in that slippery slope. So you are executing certain plans to avoid those possible treatments. So this is Rajatova under the second Pattakama. So anything that comes from the government or ruling things. And then the second Raja is under the Bali. So that's the third one actually. You can see over here, I think. Yeah, this one. Now this one, Raja Bali, this one we cannot avoid. This Raja one, this is something that we have to contribute. That one is a problem. We have to do things to avoid that from the government. But this one, we have to do it. As a law-abiding citizen, we are supposed to pay a tax for every service, even VAT taxes or whatever. So one thing is to avoid unfair treatment from the governments. Second is to give your contribution to the government as a law-abiding citizen. It makes sense? Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe we can take 1 or 2 minutes for any other question.
The first wish is actually for well. And then when it comes down later on accomplishments in Panya Sampada, there was saying that we must abandon the longing, which is a longing for well, I believe. Greed as well. Is there a contradiction between the two? Let's say if I can abandon the greed and the longing.
Not contradict. That means everybody who is making money, we have to say then every person who is making money has a certain greed. I don't think so. You can make money without become a part of lobha. Because money is a need. So may wealth come to me righteously doesn't mean that you have to have a greed to make money. It is a need. We all understand. As a layperson, you are making money because you have to fulfill the 4 pattakamas. But if you become obsessed with the money, if you don't know what to do with the money, and if you are too much spending on different things, then it can become abhijja. Otherwise, there is no contradiction. I think it's a simple thing. Make sense? So making money does not necessarily mean bringing a certain abhijja for that. The Buddha says, make your money, but don't become greedy for the money you are making. So there you have to understand how not to bring greed to your money. Otherwise, we all have to avoid from all the money, yeah? Become homeless people on the street. It's not going to work. You have to make your money in your own way, ethical ways, but don't bring greed toward what we own. How to make sure that we are not greedy? Do the 4 Pattakama. That's the end of our Sutta discussion today. I'm wishing you a good night, safe journey back home. And we'll be seeing you with another new Sutta. So, all right. Good night, everybody.